Yeah, so it's Tuesday today, and I think it's now the second last visit to the dentist. But rather than doing another dentist video, I thought I'd wait till the truck goes past. Oh my God. Wait till the truck goes past, and I thought I'd do a bit of a different video today. People have been asking me to get more opinions, sort of stuff. So I'm going to do a pros and cons. Some pros and cons of living in Thailand. Been thinking about doing this for a while. I've got a couple of notes that I've written down over the course of the last few weeks, and I thought I might cover that rather than just talk about dental stuff. Now, I'm not going to do the Quentin TV, pros and cons, flash screens. That's his style. I'm not going to steal that from your Q, but I'll do it in my own style anyway. Yeah, so I think the first point that I wanted to make there was, we talk about it a lot on the live stream. Thailand is a relatively inexpensive place to live. One of the reasons why we tend to choose Thailand. It's got all the modern amenities of what we consider to be Western style society. A reasonable transport system. It's not the best. But it's more about, the cost of housing, as I said, we've talked about here. We've got a 3-bedroom townhouse here, or townhouse, terrace house, and we pay 8,500 baht a month. That's sort of it's like $260 US. You've got to think about those sort of things. If you're on a retirement, I'm getting myself ready for the motorcycle. So if you're considering sort of retiring on a budget, you can have a comfortable lifestyle here, with a roof over your head, fairly close to all the amenities for living. Your food's cheap. Basic medical and dental. That's what we're doing. We're doing all this dental work. It's a third the price of what I would have to pay in Australia. These are some of the, this is some of the pros of why we choose Thailand and why we consider Thailand as an alternative lifestyle for living. Yeah, now you could certainly have a very flashy lifestyle here in Thailand as well, living in a sort of like a 10 million baht, a condo in the centre of the city, close to everything, close to all the attractions that Bangkok it has to offer, or again, down the east coast, down in Pattaya, there's some absolutely magnificent condos going up. And again, like Charm and Hua Hin, again, the price to actually have a really, swish lifestyle is definitely achievable for the average person as well. It just means the fact that you've got to have a little bit more money than I have, Again, my investments have me on a budget, so I have to choose a lifestyle that's comfortable and supports the things that I want to achieve in life, whereas some people might prefer to be at the beach or hanging out at a resort every day of the year. Definitely something you can do, and definitely sort of totally achievable here in Thailand. I think another thing I have mentioned in the past, as I said, this is the rainy season, but just about every day in Thailand, I can't think of a day, or maybe one day a year, or 1 or 2 days a year, especially in the Bangkok region, where you can actually not see blue sky. Yeah, we're like in the rainy season, we'll get rain, for 2 to 3 hours in a day, and when it rains pretty hard. But ultimately, it's you really can't go past the pleasant climate, for the other 21 hours of the day. People in England, people in Australia, people in Melbourne, they'll go for a week and they won't see the sun, and I'm sure that has a psychological impression on people. Whereas if you can come to Thailand, people ask me why I'm always so happy. I can look up, I can see blue sky, I can see the sun, I can smell the fresh air, and people sort of say, well, Bangkok smells. Well, it doesn't smell here. Yeah, there are some places where Bangkok smells, but it's not like everywhere. And number 3, the absence. Complete absence of daily stress. Yeah, sure, there are stressful moments. I think everybody, you really couldn't exist on this planet without stressful moments. But I'm talking about road rage and, political dissent. All these sort of things seem to just not matter. I don't know if that really makes any sense to most people. You won't understand that until you actually live here and make those sort of comparisons. Look, we have there's road accidents and there's traffic problems and things like that. But the one thing I really don't miss is those deadlines. God, I used to love deadlines. I used to love the noise they made as they flew on by. Right? That's what I call stress. The things that you sit there at nights and weekends and mulling over, how am I going to achieve this? How am I going to make that happen? And the things that keep you up at night. They just don't happen. Here we are again. Everybody on their best behaviour. Swadee krap, swadee krap, swadee krap. But that's the other thing is, you get to Thailand and you have these sort of situations where everybody just seems friendly. They just, they come across as friendly. Okay, I might be spending some money here, but seriously, I feel these girls actually enjoy my company. They laugh when I come in with the camera. There they are, they want to be movie stars. But as I said, it's just one of those sort of things with Thailand. The people generally come across as really, really friendly. And I think that's something that I really made the biggest comparison in the 9 years I've been travelling backwards and forwards. I would go to work every day, 5-6 days a week. You get on the train and everybody's glum because they've got problems, and you walk down the street and everybody's got problems. If you smiled at somebody, most of the time they'd look at you as if you were weird. What? What's happened to the planet? But at least here, I can walk down the street, I can wave somebody. That's when you put your hands together and, a little courtesy bow, right? Swadee krap and things like that, just weighing people, and they would generally weigh you back, and they are having, a good day in their own life system, It's really hard to explain. Okay, and now for the cons. The first thing that comes to mind here is the language barrier. We come from a Western society where everybody speaks English, and we don't challenge ourselves. Don't forget, we don't recall when we were learning a language. It generally takes 5 years to grasp the basic language structure from the day you were born. But as adults, we want it all happening yesterday. So I've been actively learning the language for the last probably 18 months, not through any school, but making an effort to recognise the sounds and the tones, the language structure and everything else. The guys on the live stream, they rib me about the fact that when I do say something in Thai, they look at me as if I'm talking a foreign language. Well, yeah, I am. I'm talking Thai. I'm making an effort to integrate into the society, and that makes a big difference. But it still is a challenge, getting an understanding of their language structure, which is again different to the way we do subject, predicate, sentence constructions. It focuses on the noun and what you're doing to the noun, and how then you're actively working with that process. It's very hard to explain in English. It's something, again, you're going to have to learn. I must admit that I don't let on how much Thai I do know, because, again, that's a little bit of an in secret. I can understand a lot of what's going on. I just don't talk as much Thai as what I would like to. I just need to practice more with the actual mouth shapes and and vocal tones and things like that. Me being tone deaf makes it a little bit harder as well, but aside from that, I do hear a lot more than I speak, which sort of, sometimes comes through and can bite you in the bum. But generally I sort of, keep it under my hat. I know what they're saying. I know basically what they're saying, but I'll still, inquire, Port Angre Chanya, and get them to actually sort of say the same thing in English, just more of as a confirmation that I was understanding what they were talking about. I suppose we had the pro about it's always sunny. The con sort of side of that is the fact that it's always hot. Now, of course, that has never worried me one bit. I think anything under 10 degrees Celsius is actually inhuman. I have no idea how Eskimos can handle 32 degrees below zero or colder. But you get what I mean? Like, seriously, 10 degrees, if single digits, that's it, that's inhuman. Right? But let's not have the argument. But personally, I love the hot weather. The humidity obviously comes with the hot weather. The humidity comes with the extra water we have around this area. Don't forget, Bangkok is in the tropics. It's on an alluvial floodplain. I think the greater Thailand basin is built on clay. There's a whole bunch of geological reasons on why it's humid. But again, after a couple of years, you tend not to worry about it. It's no longer an issue. It takes people from the West a little bit of time to acclimatise to it. Some people just simply don't acclimatise to it. And so I would put it as a negative for most people. And it was a little bit negative for me as well. But as I said, I tend to have days where I turn the air conditioner off at home. Simply because of the fact that, I'm trying to, again, sort of condition my body. My body learnt 55 years of Sydney weather. I don't expect it to learn Thailand weather in 2 years, and it's amazing how the body will adjust if you keep it healthy and fed and in a happy state of affairs. And as for today's visit, this has actually got me a little bit of talking about stress side of things. Yeah, I'm a little bit stressed again because of the language barrier. Now what we're having done here is this is the final 6 here across the front. Which you really can't see. I'm 57 years old, and they're not ideally straight. There's a bit of a pressure bucking on the teeth. And in what they're doing with the crowning, they're going to be putting on crowns across all 6 of these teeth here. I think they're doing it in sets of 2, 2 and 2. Then of course I'm an engineer. I'm going, well, how's the strength of this going to be? How's it going to stand up to the daily life pressure of you biting into an apple and things like that? Again, lacking the language, to really understand the procedure does make it a little bit stressful. I will try to endeavour to understand exactly what he's doing when we go in for the sitting today, which could be about 3 hours or longer. I always think it's funny the fact that we're going to, he's going to ask you to rinse every 5 minutes, and they're going to have to put injections all around the front, bottom jaw, so you won't be able to feel your lip. I don't know how you're supposed to rinse when you don't know how to close your mouth. But these are some of the fun things of dentistry, I guess. But outside that, it's a stressful point in life because I don't fully understand what the procedure is, how the procedure works. There's not much I can do to research it because again this is internal dentistry. What I'm going off is the fact that they've done the top row and the bottom sides and it's all looking pretty good. It feels great, everything sort of seems to be working and I've had no discomfort at all, so there's a level of trust that I'm putting in the dentist, the fact that these last 6 will actually work properly. But again, if we've got problems, I'm sure that they'll sort them out as well. Anyway, we'll cover off those last couple of points when we finish this appointment, if I can speak, that is. Well, there we go. So we've done the temporaries again, and it's looking alright. So as before, it's good colour, and it's all nice and straight. It's taken a good half an hour before my lip has managed to get to a point where I can actually talk again. So the next point I wanted to raise was apart from the general noise that you have to deal with it in Thailand, everybody just loves loudspeakers. I have no idea what it is with loudspeakers. Something to just seriously. But anyway, it's the general untidiness of real estate. I think this is the best way to describe it, is the general untidiness. It's rubbish and things like that is not really quite obvious, apart from probably the waterways. But it's just with the humidity, concrete discolours. So I don't know, when you go to Australian dentists and you get some work done, do they give you little gift bags? This is obviously something new for me. Some dental hygiene stuff. Not quite sure what's in the box. Nice little gift from the girls in the surgery. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's not dirty. As you can look out here on the street here, we don't find rubbish around the streets. It's everything's like they do the necessary to keep things clean. But then of course you get to these sort of buildings up here. Let me just zoom in. Now it's just this greyness that you see on the buildings. This is just from rain. Obviously that sidewall has just been recently painted, and they're doing some refurbishment on those last two units on that row. But generally, it's this discoloration, and it just gives everything a sort of a really old look, which, in my opinion, it's just one of those little detracting things. A coat of paint every 5 years would just, if they made that sort of a thing that people should aspire to, rather than having the flashiest damn car on the street. Where they spend their money just seems to always never make any sense. They'll go into debt to buy a million baht motor vehicle just so that they have a nice looking vehicle that they can show off. Yet the houses themselves, for 5,000 baht you could probably buy 20 litres of paint. And for maybe 1,000 baht you can probably have somebody paint the damn house. Why they don't do that just completely strikes me as not making any sense whatsoever. And on the last point that I want to do on the con side is, I did sort of say as a pro, everybody seems to be really, really friendly. But then again, you got to think about this. This is a society where people don't make much money. Well, some people do. I think that's not the con, all the noise of trucks and everything else. But that's fleeting. Yeah, but like the friendliness hides a certain amount of the Thai underculture. Nobody, Thai people aren't rich. They're not, empowered. They've had 4 years or 4.5 years of a military coup government. There's all sorts of weird things going on at the upper levels of Thai society, and so although they're a happy and easygoing bunch, I really do think that it hides a level of resentment within their culture as well. It doesn't get talked about much. It's like this is what we call about the getting back to the whole saving face and losing face. I think it comes from the standpoint that everybody has hardships. Thai people can tend to keep that hardships within themselves, whereas in the Western society, in America you'll just go and buy a gun and shoot somebody. In Australia you'll just go and drive at 100 miles an hour just to piss off the police, or people have a way to release these things here in Western society, but here in Thailand it just seems to think that people don't want to release that. They keep it bottled up inside them, and this obviously produces drinking problems and a few other things like that, you know, that relate around this oppressed society type of mandate. So although that there are generally sort of a happy-go-lucky bunch of people, you know, never take that happy-go-lucky as the fact that these people are really happy-go-lucky. You got to look at all the telltale signs, and generally sort of, you know, trust your instincts with people. You know, it might look good on the outside, but generally sort of it's hiding something pretty bad. But anyway, that was really what I wanted to do, is talk about this today rather than talk about the dentistry. The numbness is almost gone now, and yeah, I think these are only temporary, and I think that once we get the porcelains in the bottom, actually I don't even think that, I was looking at the sheet, I don't think the bottom ones are porcelain, I think the bottom ones are also going to be ceramics. I'll have to ask next week. So yeah, they gave me a gift because that was the last bill I pay. You know, next Friday's, not this Friday, but next Friday's visit will be fitting the last part. They also had a couple of other parting gifts as well, which I'll make sure I take a backpack with me next time, just so I can take them home. But other than that, it was another good visit to the dentist. And as I said, you know, dentistry in Thailand is one of those pros. Anyway, just a bit of a different video for today. And don't forget, if you like this sort of style of video, me talking just off the cuff again, hit that like button down there. The light's going. Hit that like button. Actually, the like button's over here, I'm pretty sure. Hit that like button over here and hit that subscribe button as well. And don't forget, look, I'm going to be doing more of these sort of thought process videos to our Patreons. People have been asking about, you know, more information about, you know, the things that you need to know if you want to live in Thailand. You know, I'm only covering the surface with these, you know, public videos. I'm going to be going to a little bit more depth in these in the private videos, and hopefully sort of, you know, help grow the Patreon subscriptions as well. Anyway, all for me, bye from me for now, and we'll talk to you. That's right, I think tomorrow we're off to see the wizard about my renewal of my motor license. So there should be a video out for that one as well, if everything goes well. Then again, it might be a video that comes out and didn't go so well. Keep on telling you guys, I'm mid-due-turn issues with my eyesight, which is a red-green deficiency. Although I can see red and green quite well, when it gets to those sort of blending, you know, subtle reds and subtle greens, which are on those colour dot charts. Yeah, I have a bit of trouble. Unless, of course, I got some bright light, I do have trouble seeing those colours. Although the sheet that I picked up about the renewal process didn't suggest that there was an eyesight test at all. I do know in Australia, if you go and renew your licence every 5 years, they'll get you to see the letters on the bottom row, and if you don't, then, you know, are you prescribed for glasses? Yes or no? Well, I'm sorry, you can't see the letters. we're not going to renew your licence. So, you know, eyesight is one thing, and I'm pretty sure there will be an eyesight, and in that eyesight test there will be a colour test. Anyway, stay tuned for that, and we'll catch up with you guys later. Bye for now.